Welcome back to History United. This is the show where we light up the history behind Billy Joel's song Read and Start the Fire, one line at a time.
We're covering the events and people from 1949 to 89 and showing how they changed the world.
I'm Caroline.
I'm Dave.
I'm Amy.
And I'm Andrew. Today we're talking about Nikita Khrushchev, the loud, bold Soviet leader who changed his country and nearly started a nuclear war.
Khrushchev became the leader of the Soviet Union after Joseph Stalin died in 1953. At first, he wasn't the obvious choice, but he climbed to the top fast.
And in 1956, he made a huge speech where he criticized Stalin for being cruel and unfair. It was shocking, especially because Khrushchev had once worked closely with Stalin.
That speech was a really big deal. He said it was time to stop ruling by fear. It started something called de-Stalinization.
Khrushchev closed many prison camps, aka gulags, I'm pretty sure, and let people talk more freely and tried to give communist countries more independence, but only up to a point.
In Hungary, people took him at his word. They started a revolution in 1956, demanding freedom from Soviet control.
But when it went too far, Khrushchev sent in tanks to crush the uprising. Thousands were killed or arrested in Budapest.
We covered that in our Budapest episode. It's one of the saddest and bravest moments in the Cold War history. Even kids were part of the protests.
Exactly. It showed that while Khrushchev wanted to reform, he wasn't ready to let go of power.
And when he didn't get his way, he got very angry. At the United Nations, when he disagreed with the speaker, he banged his shoe on his desk in protest. And once, when talking with U.S. ambassadors, he even shouted, "We will bury you."
Khrushchev didn't just make waves in Europe. He shocked the world by helping launch the space race.
In 1957, the Soviet Union sent Sputnik into space, the very first satellite ever launched.
It looked like a metal beach ball with antennas, and it beeped as it circled Earth. You could actually hear it if you had the right radio.
Fun fact, Sputnik means companion in Russian. That beep beeped loudly in America's ears. It showed that the Soviets were ahead in space and made U.S. leaders really nervous.
That kicked off a race between the United States and Soviet Union to explore space. Both sides wanted to be first, to launch satellites, to launch rockets, and even launch people.
Under Khrushchev, the Soviets stayed ahead for a while. In 1961, they sent the first person into space, Yuri Gagarin.
He orbited the Earth and came back safely. People all over the world were amazed. And the Soviet Union Gagarin was treated like a superhero.
Khrushchev loved turning space wins into Cold War victories. He wanted to prove communism was the future.
But things got tense again in 1962 during the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Khrushchev placed nuclear missiles in Cuba, just 90 minutes from the U.S. coast. When American spy planes spotted them, the world held its breath.
That was so scary. For 13 days, people thought we might have a nuclear war.
In fact, I have a little story about this. So, during the Cuban Missile Crisis, there was a nuclear-armed submarine with a nuclear-armed torpedo. That torpedo is basically just an underwater nuke. And when the U.S. discovered this submarine on radar, they decided to launch non-lethal depth charges to scare them away. On the submarine during that time, the 3 highest-ranking people on the submarine all had to agree to launch the torpedo, and 2 out of the 3 people said yes. They thought a nuclear war started, and so 2 people decided to almost launch the torpedo, but someone was like, "Wait, these could just be non-lethal depth charges," and they said, "No, I don't want to launch it." And so that's how close we got to ending the world.
Andrew, that is really amazing that you knew all of that just off the top of your head, and thank you for sharing that story. I'm happy to share that because of that and other situations, there was no nuclear war, And Khrushchev and President Kennedy made a deal to back down. It was risky, but it saved lives.
Still, not everyone thought Khrushchev had done the right thing. Some Soviet leaders believed he made the country look weak.
So in 1964, they quietly removed him from power. No big speech, no vote, just gone.
After that, he lived a quiet life, writing his memories and watching the world change without him. But Billy Joel didn't forget. Khrushchev helped save the Cold War, from tanks in Hungary to rockets in space.
That's why Billy Joel included Khrushchev in the song, because his choices shaped the Cold War and almost changed the world forever. Nikita.
Wow, that was a lot. I think we need some jokes after this episode. And again, just like last time, we have double jokes today. We have one from Caroline and one from Andrew. Caroline, are you ready?
But I'm going to do 2. Why did the bicycle fall over?
Why is that?
Because it was too tired.
That's good.
And what did the triangle say to the circle?
What?
You're pointless.
I like that.
Circle got roasted. Okay.
All right, Andrew, you're up.
I have a couple dad jokes for you. 2 drums and a cymbal fell off a cliff. I recently got a pen that can write underwater. Interesting, right? It can also write other words, but I just like underwater.
All right. Wow. I thought we were having double jokes, but we had quadruple jokes.
Thanks for listening and exploring history with us.
We'll be back soon with another episode.
Thanks for listening. And remember,
Teach good history.
Prevent repeat!